One of the biggest things that I've learned about film and SFX, makeup art, etc., is that it's people who went out there and had no idea what they were doing and just did it. They said, oh, I can figure that out, and they did. They figured it out, they went out, and what's the worst that could happen? You fail.
Welcome back to How to Make Your First Feature Film. If you're new to this series, this is where I'm chronicling my journey of making my first movie to share what I've been learning along the way so you can make your first movie too with little to no money. If you are new to this series, be sure to go back and check out some of my previous episodes which go over everything from writing your screenplay to what camera you should use on your first film. In this episode, I want to take a deep dive into one department of film that might often get overlooked by a lot of beginning filmmakers. Although this is one of the most important departments on any film production. That department is the art department. So some quick backstory before I introduce this video's guest. So for those of you that have been following me since the beginning, you know very well that how I met a lot of the filmmakers who I work with today, how I got into networking with a lot of these filmmakers, was I actually started out as a scare actor for a local haunted attraction, the Factory of Terror, where I met some people that introduced me to some of those that I'm working with even now today. However, while I don't work at Factory of Terror anymore, I still actually maintain that tradition of being a scare actor, only now I'm part of a different attraction called Gorgas Street Horror. So I first got involved with Gorgas Street Horror when I met their owner, Pearson Duvall, while being part of the investigation team for Rogues Hollow Paranormal, which you know I used to produce their episodes as well for their paranormal investigation series. Well, Pearson was part of that team, liked the work I was doing with Rogues Hollow, and wanted to get me involved to do some promotional content for Gorgas Street Horror and also be a scare actor with him as well. And it was through that experience of working with Pearson and Gorgas Street Horror where I actually met one of the most important people, one of the backbones of the production team on In the Hands of Fate, Charyssa VanBogelen. Charyssa is not only my key makeup artist, but she's also my costume designer. She's done everything from special effects makeup to hairstyling to even designing all of the robes and costumes that Jeremiah and his cult wear in the movie. She's even gone past her duties and has helped out in terms of getting us a location with catering, with even bringing set design. When we were building our homeless camp, she helped transport set design. Charyssa has been one of the fundamental, foundational backbones of the entire project. So with that introduction on who Charyssa VanBogelen is, I'd love to give her the floor for the rest of this episode to give you a deep dive on how you can get started in the world of special effects makeup and costume design for independent film.
Charyssa VanBogelen, and I am makeup and some props. I've been learning special effects and doing it since 2013. I started out at a production called Dungeon of Doom, and then from there I ended up doing a bunch of other different side work from small productions to other attractions, and I currently work for Gorgas Street Horror. I try to get as much material to conceptualize what it is you're looking for. For instance, today we shot a scene with a particular injury that I looked up, I've also seen before. So having that visual in my head allows me to translate it out onto the person and how I need it to look on their face. One of the biggest things that I've learned about film and SFX, makeup art, etc., is that it's people who went out there and had no idea what they were doing and just did it. They said, oh, I can figure that out, and they did. They figured it out, they went out, and what's the worst that could happen? You fail. I mean, you're no worse off than you are right now. Just dive right in. Most of the time when I get on a set or I get in a production, I have no idea what I'm about to do. And in those situations is when the most amazing things come out of my mind. So
I truly love learning. So anytime I'm working with other artists, with other people, anytime that I'm able to collaborate, it's always fun because there's always something I haven't learned yet. There's always someone with a different technique. I love hearing the stories and sometimes learning from my own mistakes. as much as I'm frazzled, the pressure of it also, for some reason, I do enjoy it, even though it's crazy. But I love being able to meet people and see new experiences and see different artists and different creative minds. And just, yeah, learning as much as I can. I'm obsessed with like figuring out things. Everything's a puzzle to me, so I have to figure out how it works. So it's trial. You don't need a lot of expensive materials. You don't need just find what you have. The very first costume that I've ever made was made out of and started a technique that I've been using for, if you look at Gorga Street Horror last year, we had demons, the masks. That's made out of wood glue and toilet paper as the base, and then the latex coating. These are all things that I didn't have a lot of money when I first started out. My first came in canvas, I had horns and stuff that was all made out of toilet paper tubes and wadded up newspaper.
That's
and
awesome.
It looked great. Like, YouTube's your best friend. TikTok's a great resource. Don't doom scroll. And then just look around you. There's always something. You get free newspapers every single day. We get so much junk mail.
No.
That junk mail can be put in a bowl with a bunch of wood glue for $2, and there you go. You're gonna mold that into whatever you need. If there's cardboard everywhere, everything has cardboard. There are things around you, and as creative as you can get, you'd be amazed at the masterpieces that come out of it. But yeah, no, this is
That is
where all
awesome.
my chaos and crazy happens. I just
So
got
you
back from
make all the
vacation,
creations.
so, like, it's literally a disaster here.
Hey, a clean workstation means you're not busy enough.
That's true.
For anyone starting, this isn't a starter setup. She's experienced.
I will say, though, if you are starting out, Facebook Marketplace is where you can find a lot of good machines. You
Facebook
can
Marketplace,
also find-
Craigslist, that's where all it's at.
Literally, and like the sophisticated equipment that I was talking about, I literally have trays of styrofoam pieces.
Yeah.
I will never throw the
All
stuff
that
away.
$1 million movie equipment.
Yeah, really. Literally. I have like saved bottles. If you're chronically ill like the most of us, or where are they? I have a whole bunch of bottles of old pills.
That is so cool. So most of it, like you said, most of this is from like those
90% of this is dead stock
wow.
that you can use, and like I said, like these nicer fabrics. This is a wedding dress I'm altering for someone. So these nicer fabrics like this, like you'd spend $50, $60, $70 a yard for something
They look
like this.
really nice too.
I think I spent $1.10 a yard and bought the entire bolt of this stuff for just costumes. So that's a way to save yourself.
And that's a big roll. You'd be spending like almost $100, $200 at Joann's.
Not more.
Yeah.
Bigger ones. I bought like this whole bolt. I think cost me $40.
And that's dead stock?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is dead stock. This
Man.
whole same thing. This is all dead stock, and like this is what's left of the material for Sam's shrouds, and like literally she sold me the entire.
This whole dead stock tip feels like the
Yes.
the equivalent of gold right now. Like I never would have I never would have known
I
this.
get a lot of my threads because she'll get huge. I order some threads, but like these big ugly ones, she has a ton of these at the place that I go, and like I can get these for $1.99.
What?
These are $5-6 a piece,
Dang.
but she buys them in
you get
auction.
a fraction of that for $4 at Walmart too.
Literally.
That's crazy.
Literally. This is comparison. Here's a fresh one from Walmart that I had to buy recently, and this has been 2/3 of the way used. It was
That's
cute.
like double the size. Wow.
$1.99,
Jeez.
$4.
Wow.
So that
So
helps.
anyone starting out, dead stock fabric, look up where to find some of that.
Find yourself a fabric auction house or a
That is
secondhand
the
fabric store. Yeah.
Tip and skill equivalent of gold right now.
So there you have it. I really don't think there's much more that I personally could add that Charyssa hasn't said herself. But I guess the key takeaway, if you are interested in getting involved and working in the art department on independent films and you don't know where to begin, just get started. It's like anything else. You don't need lots of money. A lot of the best special effects that we've done for this movie can be made for dirt cheap. The costumes, there's ways to get those cheap. And I think Charyssa did a great job explaining some ways that you can use just the resources you have available and your imagination and really put together some really interesting stuff with just a strong imagination in what you already have. And to us filmmakers who might not know a lick about special effects, makeup, or costume design, but we want to find someone really, really talented to head our art department, the key once again is networking. And yeah, one way that you can network is by meeting people on other film sets, but think outside the box. Not always is it going to be the film set that you end up meeting somebody who becomes a crucial part of your team. And sometimes you'll find people that have, you know, this really strong talent and this really strong skill, and you'll meet them outside of your own industry. You'll meet them somewhere else and by doing other things. So get out there, meet people, talk to people, and realize that some of the most important people that you meet, you'll meet just going around in everyday life. Anyway, guys, if you like this content and you want to see even more videos on independent filmmaking, then as I say in every single other video, go ahead and subscribe, drop a like, smash that bell to get notifications. And if you yourself are an independent film, whether you're a filmmaker or if you are, in this case, a special effects makeup artist or a costume designer, and you have any little bit of advice that maybe myself or Charyssa hasn't talked about in this video, then go ahead and in the comments, I want to know what advice you would have to aspiring filmmakers, to aspiring makeup artists, to aspiring costume designers. Let us know what you have to think. And anyway, guys, until next time, as always, that's a wrap.